She said, "If you get a paternity test, I'm taking the baby and you'll never see us again." I got the test anyway. Results came back, not mine. She called crying, asking if we could meet to work it out. I said, "Didn't you tell me I will never see you again?" And hung up. Hey viewers, before we move on to the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you want to see more stories like this. Thanks. Let me start from the beginning to give you some context. Emily and I met in college, back when we were both scraping by on ramen and part-time jobs. She was studying marketing, full of big dreams about climbing the corporate ladder, and I was in engineering, already lining up a stable gig post-grad. From the jump, I was all in. She had this energy, vibrant, ambitious, and I loved supporting that. When her parents went through a nasty divorce right after we graduated, I was there for her every step. I remember holding her through nights of tears, helping her sort through the family drama, even driving her to therapy sessions when she couldn't face it alone. I put my own stuff on hold, like turning down a job offer that would have meant relocating just to stay close and be her rock. Fast forward a bit, and we got married in a small ceremony. Nothing fancy, but it felt right. I was working as a project engineer in a mid-sized city, pulling long hours to build our future. Emily landed a job at a marketing firm, but it was tough. She dealt with a lot of stress, late nights pitching ideas, and I made sure home was her sanctuary. I'd cook dinner, handle the chores, plan little surprises like weekend getaways to help her recharge. Hell, when she lost her job last year due to company cutbacks, I didn't blink. I told her, "Take your time, babe. Focus on that certification you've been wanting. I've got us covered." I worked overtime, picked up freelance gigs on the side. Also, she could chase her goals without worrying about bills. We talked about starting a family someday, and I was excited. I pictured us as that team, loyal through the thick and thin. But things started shifting about 8 months ago. Emily got distant, snapping at little things, burying herself in her phone, coming home late from networking events or study groups for her certification. I'd ask how her day was, and she'd brush me off with a vague "fine" or change the subject. Then, the pregnancy announcement. She sat me down one evening, all smiles, and said she was expecting. I was thrilled at first, hugged her, started rambling about baby names, and turning the spare room into a nursery. But something nagged at me. The timing didn't add up. I'd been away for a 2-week work trip to a remote site, no cell service, right around when conception would have happened. We hadn't been intimate for a bit before that due to her stress, and after, well, the math just didn't fit. I tried to shake it off, chalking it up to paranoia. But the doubts grew. She'd mentioned this coworker, Jake, more often, how he was so supportive during her job hunt, how they grabbed coffee to brainstorm ideas. I noticed her laughing at texts when she thought I wasn't looking, and once I glimpsed a message pop up, "Can't wait to see you again." My gut twisted. I loved her, trusted her, or at least I wanted to, but I couldn't ignore the red flags. After a sleepless night, I decided I needed clarity, not for drama, but for peace of mind. So, I brought it up over dinner one night, keeping my voice steady. "Emily," I said, setting down my fork, "I'm over the moon about the baby, but the dates, they don't line up with when I was gone. I think we should get a paternity test, just to put any worries to rest." She froze, her face shifting from surprise to something colder. "A paternity test? Are you serious, Alex? After everything, you don't trust me?" "I do trust you," I replied, trying to stay calm. "But the timeline, it's off by weeks. It's not about accusing you. It's about knowing for sure so we can move forward as a family." She laughed, a sharp, bitter sound that cut right through me. "Oh, please. If you're so insecure, maybe that's the problem. I've been stressed, dealing with all this alone while you're off working. And now you want to question if it's yours? Fine, but if you go through with that test, I'm done. I'll take the baby, and you'll never see us again. I'll make sure you regret it." Her words hung there, smug and final, like she'd already decided I was the villain. I didn't yell or beg. I just nodded, feeling that confusion settle in like fog. "If that's your line in the sand, Emily, I hear you." Inside, it stung, the way she twisted it, making me the bad guy for wanting truth. But I wasn't going to force her. That night, as she stormed off to the guest room, I sat alone in the living room, staring at the wall. I'd given up so much for us. Opportunities, time, energy, and now this? It felt unfair, like I'd been a placeholder all along. The silence stretched for days after that, her avoiding me wrestling with what to do next. I ordered a non-invasive prenatal paternity test kit anyway, discreet, through the mail. No confrontation, I just needed answers. When the results came back a few weeks later, confirming what my gut feared, not mine, it hit like a punch, but I didn't lash out. Instead, I packed a bag quietly while she was out and left a note saying we needed to talk about separation. By then, she'd already started pulling away more, spending time at her sister's. The betrayal burned, but I kept my head down, focusing on logistics. Lawyers, dividing assets, all without a scene. That's when the real storm hit. Emily had been staying at her sister's place more often, claiming she needed space to think about us. But I knew better. The paternity results were burning a hole in my pocket. Literally, I kept the printout in my wallet like some kind of grim reminder. Not mine. 0% match. It confirmed everything. The late nights, the secretive texts, the emotional wall she'd built. I wasn't just paranoid, I'd been played. But I didn't confront her with fireworks. No screaming match, no accusations hurled across the room. I waited until she came home one evening to collect more of her things, looking smug as ever, like she held all the cards. She walked in, tossing her bag on the couch without a glance my way. I'm just grabbing some clothes. We can talk later if you're ready to apologize for doubting me. I stood in the kitchen doorway, arms crossed, keeping my voice even. Actually, Emily, we need to talk now. I got the test results. Her eyes narrowed, that smug expression cracking just a fraction. You what? I told you. If you did that, we're done. You'll never see me or the baby again. I heard you, I said, pulling out the folded paper and sliding it across the counter. But I needed the truth. And here it is, not mine. She snatched it up, scanning the lines, her face paling before twisting into defiance. This is bullshit. These tests aren't always accurate. And even if, fine, maybe I slipped up. But it's your fault, Alex. You've been so distant, always buried in work. I felt alone, neglected. Jake, he gets me. He's exciting, ambitious. We connected during those late nights at the office when you were off on your trips. It wasn't planned, but it happened because you weren't there. Jake, I repeated, piecing it together. The coworker she'd mentioned casually, the one with the flashy car and endless stories. So that's who it is. The guy from your firm. She crossed her arms, chin up, like she was proud of it. Yeah, Jake. He's got drive, passion, things you've lost. You're reliable, sure, but boring. I deserve more than a safe bet. I need someone who makes me feel alive, not just comfortable. And honestly, if you'd been more attentive, this wouldn't have happened. But no, you had to push with that stupid test. Now, I'm out. I'll file for divorce, take the house if I have to, and raise this baby with someone who actually steps up. Her words landed like knives, twisted logic, making her betrayal my problem. She painted me as the villain for working hard, for supporting us, while she stepped out. It was outrageous, the way she justified it all with that smug tone, like I should thank her for the wake-up call. I felt the anger bubble, but I swallowed it. No begging for explanations, no pleading for another chance. If that's how you see it, Emily, then go. I'll handle the paperwork on my end. She laughed again, that cutting sound. Oh, you'll handle it? Good luck without me. You'll realize soon enough what you're losing. I'm upgrading, Alex. Jake's already talking about us moving in together after the baby's born. You'll be the one regretting this. I didn't respond, just watched as she grabbed a suitcase from the closet and started stuffing clothes in. And don't think you can fight for custody or anything, she added over her shoulder. It's not yours, remember? You made sure of that with your little test. So yeah, you'll never see us again, just like I warned. She slammed the door on her way out, leaving the house echoing with silence. I stood there for what felt like hours, the weight of it all crashing down. The confusion was suffocating. How had we gone from planning a family to this? Flashbacks hit me hard. The time I surprised her with tickets to that concert she loved, even though I was exhausted from a 60-hour week. Or when I sat up all night with her during her flu last winter, making soup and fetching meds. I'd sacrifice promotions, nights out with friends, all to build something solid. And for what? To be discarded like yesterday's news, made to feel like a backup while she chased excitement with Jake. It was unfair, brutally so. I poured a drink, sat on the couch, and let the silence stretch. No tears, no rage, just a deep, aching quiet as I processed the betrayal. She'd been so dismissive, so cruel in her justifications, like my loyalty was a flaw. The next few weeks were a blur of detachment. I hired a lawyer quietly, started untangling our finances. No shared accounts left for her to dip into. I blocked her on everything: phone, social media, email. Not out of spite, but to protect my peace. I disappeared from our mutual circles, too. Told friends I needed space. Avoided the usual hangouts. Work became my anchor. I threw myself into projects. Even took on that relocation offer I'd turned down before, moving to a smaller apartment across town. Therapy helped unpack the mess. Sessions where I admitted the vulnerability, the self-doubt she'd planted. Was I really boring? I'd ask. But slowly, the confusion cleared. I hit the gym, reconnected with old hobbies like hiking, started dating casually, but nothing serious. Life without her drama felt lighter. Meanwhile, karma started creeping in, though I didn't seek it out. Mutual friends filled me in piecemeal, despite my efforts to stay out of it. Jake, it turned out, wasn't the knight she'd imagined. He was unstable, rumors of him bouncing between jobs, a history of short flings. When the baby arrived a couple months later, a boy, from what I heard, he stuck around just long enough to confirm paternity, his, obviously, before bailing. Said he wasn't ready for that kind of commitment. Left her high and dry in a cramped apartment her sister helped her afford. Emily's job? She lost it during maternity leave. The firm cited performance issues, but whispers said the office drama with Jake didn't help. Her reputation took a hit. Friends who once defended her started distancing themselves when the full story leaked. She cheated and then threatened you over a test? One buddy texted me, "Dude, you dodged a bullet." I didn't gloat. I just nodded to myself. It was ironic how her smug warnings backfired. She'd isolated herself, financially strained, unraveling bit by bit. But I kept my distance, focusing on my own rise, a promotion at work, a new circle of friends, that sense of clarity sharpening. The unfairness lingered in quiet moments, but it fueled me forward, not backward. That's when her attempts started trickling in, subtle at first, then ramping up like she couldn't believe I'd actually moved on. It began about a month after the baby was born. I'd been in my new routine, promoted to senior engineer, hitting the trails on weekends, even dipping my toes into dating with a woman from work who was straightforward and kind. No games. Emily's number was blocked, but she found ways around it. First, a text from an unknown number. "Alex, it's me. We need to talk about what happened. For the baby's sake, at least hear me out." I didn't respond. Deleted it, went about my day. But she persisted. A voicemail next. "Hey, it's Emily. Jake, he left. Said he wasn't cut out for this. I'm alone with the baby now, struggling. I know I said some things, but maybe we can meet? Work something out. I miss what we had." Her voice cracked a bit, a hint of desperation creeping in, but it was laced with that same twisted logic, like I owed her a lifeline after she torched everything. I listened once, then blocked the new number too. No sympathy stirred. She'd made her bed with her threats and justifications. But she didn't stop. Her sister called a week later, voice dripping with that toxic mix of judgment and plea. "Alex, this is Sarah. Emily's in a bad spot. Bills piling up, no job, and the baby's colicky. You're being cruel ignoring her. She made a mistake, but family's family. At least talk to her. She regrets it all." "Mistake," I said flatly. "She cheated, lied, and threatened to cut me out. Tell her I'm good." Sarah huffed. "You're heartless. She thought you were better than this. Her friends are saying the same. You owe her closure, at least." I hung up without another word. Heartless? After I'd been the one holding us together? It was hypocritical, them circling the wagons now that her upgrade flopped. Mutual friends who'd stayed neutral started texting me apologies. Heard the full story. "Sorry we didn't see it sooner. She's unraveling, man." But Emily escalated. Another call from yet another number, this time her tone shifting from pleading to edged with anger. "Alex, pick up. I know you're getting these. I need help. Jake took off, left me with nothing. The apartment's a mess. I can't afford formula half the time. We were married. Doesn't that mean anything? Let's meet at the old coffee shop. I was wrong, okay? Happy now." I didn't call back. Ignored the follow-up text that poured in. Fine, be that way. But you're abandoning a child who could have been yours if you hadn't pushed that test. Then, the anger boiled over in a rant of voicemails. You think you're so superior now? Moving on like I never existed? I see your posts through friends. You're out hiking, dating? While I'm here suffering. You're a coward, Alex. I gave you years, and this is how you repay me. It revealed her true colors, the smugness from the breakup morphing into bitter rage when she realized she had no power left. Her family piled on. Her mom emailed. Shame on you for turning your back. Emily's depressed, isolated. Come to dinner, talk it out like adults. Toxic through and through, acting like I was the problem for not folding. I forwarded it to my lawyer, kept building my life. The power had flipped. She was desperate, clawing for relevance, while I felt clearer than ever. The confusion from those early silent nights had hardened into resolve. I'd been vulnerable once, questioning my worth, but now, free. The climax came at our mutual friend Mike's baby shower, a casual backyard gathering I'd almost skipped, but Mike insisted, "It's been months, dude. Come celebrate." I showed up with my new girlfriend, Lisa. Nothing flashy, just easy companionship. We were laughing over appetizers when Emily appeared, uninvited, baby in a carrier, looking worn, dark circles, disheveled hair, that desperate glint in her eyes. Heads turned, whispers started. She beelined for me, ignoring the awkward stares. "Alex," she said, voice trembling but pushy. "I knew you'd be here. We need to talk, privately. Jake's gone for good, trashed my credit on his way out. I'm broke, alone, and the baby's sick half the time. I was stupid, okay? Manipulative. But we can fix this. You always said we were a team. Let's meet later, work it out. I still love you." The hypocrisy hit peak, begging after her cruel breakup spiel, acting like her downfall was fixable with my help. Friends shifted uncomfortably. Mike shot me a sympathetic look. I kept my tone calm, firm, like closing a door she'd long since lost the key to. "Emily, you said if I got the test, you'd take the baby and I'd never see you again. Remember? You made that clear, smug about it, even. So, let's stick to your words. It's over." She blinked, tears welling. But that was anger talking. I didn't mean it. "Please, Alex, I'm sorry. We could start fresh. You see me struggling. Doesn't that matter?" I glanced at Lisa, who squeezed my hand supportively, then back at Emily. "What matters is my life now. New job, new paths, I'm good. You're irrelevant to that. Take care." She stood there, mouth agape, as I turned away, rejoining the group. The reversal was stark. Her isolated, pleading in public, me thriving, surrounded by people who'd seen the truth. She left shortly after, muttering something angry under her breath, but it bounced off. No more attempts followed. Maybe she finally got it. Update: it's been a few months since the shower. I'm engaged to Lisa now, planning a quiet life far from the drama. Emily, last I heard through the grapevine, she's scraping by with odd jobs, friends ghosting her after the full cheating story spread. Karma did its thing, but I didn't need to lift a finger. Lesson learned: loyalty's a gift, not a given. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. What do you think about this story? Share it in the comments.